you. Moving along nicely, aren't we? You're piecing him back together faster than I expected. We're getting closer to the end. And since you've proven yourself so capable, maybe it's time. You should have enough power now to enter his mansion. Here, go to this place and see if the door opens for you. No. If you want to know the truth about the man pulling the strings, it's time you took a look behind the curtain. It's the house of someone I once called my employer, Orin. The same one whose plans got you out of the island asylum. I don't know. We stopped seeing eye to eye on certain things, and our relationship soured. No, not really. There's one last piece of Arthur's soul waiting for you. The third artifact. His crown, this time. You'll find it deep in the Forlorn Swords, in the capital city of Dalriata. Meet with Gerfan. He'll either attack you on sight, or explain everything patiently, depending on how he feels about... Oh, you'll see for yourself. How would I know? I'd say going into Dalriata territory is a surprise all on its own. But don't worry, they've got bigger problems at the moment than you sneaking off with their sacred helmet. Once you're done, meet me at the Charred Conclave. That's where we'll finish this, one way or another.
We're not safe here. You'll fall to my sword! Back to you!
Greetings, my king. If you're seeing this message, it means Caradoc has fulfilled his task, and the wheel of destiny has begun to turn. I am Orin, your majesty's devoted servant, and the apprentice of your friend Merlin. Nothing would bring me greater joy than meeting you face to face. Alas, that must wait, for our paths have yet to cross, though I hope it will be soon. In the meantime, please treat my home as your own. Make yourself comfortable. Rest from your hardships, and seek the knowledge you require. And you, brave vessel, remember to heed your lord, King Arthur, now and always. You have no idea how long I've been waiting for you, my king. I've memorized Merlin's plan for your resurrection. Yet I'm certain my master made a mistake somewhere. I just can't pinpoint quite where. The theory of revival itself, the technique for performing the ritual was flawless. After all, you always return to us. But I saw how much suffering each resurrection caused you. I wanted to find a way to bring you back to us as the person you truly wished to be. My king, I understand that what Merlin and I have done was against the laws of nature. I know how many brave knights gave their lives so we could find a way to bring... My king, I understand that what Merlin and I have done was against the laws of nature. I know how many brave knights gave their lives so we could find a way to bring you back. But their sacrifice was not in vain. With you here, Avalon has a chance to become a true paradise. And now, I believe I've found the way to make it happen.
is Brock, from Brock Miala. My name is Brock from Brock Miala. My name is Brock from Brock Miala. Oh, it's you.
Just as I thought. The buzzing has ceased. For the first time in years, I hear nothing. It's quiet. Such peace. I'd hoped to see you again. This is a great day. I thank you, Liberator of Brock Miala. I thank you deeply. I kept something for such an occasion. Please, you should take it. A well-earned reward. Well, I suppose I'll continue my travels, offering my services wherever they're needed. There is much foul magic in this world, and the weirdness takes many forms. I hope I shall cross paths with somebody I can help. In the meantime, be well, my friend.
fight!
Busy. Until next time.
Nice to see you. Oh, I meant that. And don't worry, this time. I want to make something for a person dear to my heart. A battle hammer. Proper blacksmith's craftsmanship. Urfia will appreciate such work, no doubt. But I need a few things to get started. For the shaft, I want to use black alder, a tree that grows in the swamp. As for the rest of the materials, I still need to think about that. Once you bring me the wood, I'll have a better idea of what else is needed. Thank you. And just be careful out there, I wouldn't want anything to happen to you because of some stupid piece of wood. Mind the road. What do you need? Got something for me to look at? Aye, that's it. Good work bringing this to me. You chose well. The wood is young. It's going to be flexible and sturdy enough. Should do nicely for the hammer. I'm glad you didn't lose your way in the muck. Anyway, while you were gone, I made a decision about the hammerhead. I want to use the family iron for it. The thing is, it's buried in my parents' mound. I know it sounds like I'm asking you to desecrate a grave, but trust me, you won't find corpses there. It's a memory mound. In the past, when someone in Kunacht lost a loved one to the weirdness, their body was offered to the fire. It wasn't right to bury someone so horribly changed. Instead, the family would bury something that belonged to the deceased. I lost my father when I was 6. Mother worked herself to the bone, keeping me fed, and it wasn't always enough. I started working early, so we managed to scrape by. But she passed away a few years later. Weird night caught her. That's when I buried the family iron, the only thing I had left of my parents. I didn't want it to end up in the wrong hands. After that, I drifted from neighbor to neighbor. One house gave me warm stew, the next, a beating. Eventually, I ended up with Urfir. He taught me everything I know. No, that was a long time ago. A lot has changed since then. I lost my heart. And then you showed up and helped me get it back. And now we've replaced that ill heart with a new one forged by a stone warden. Incredible, isn't it? Sounds like some stupid tale. But it's all thanks to you. So, about that iron, come back as soon as you manage to get it. If anything comes up, you know where to find me.
Prepare for battle! I'll face every threat. Your armor won't save you!
What do you need? You're back. For a moment, I was afraid I'd never see you again. After you left, I started wondering if maybe I'd asked too much of you. But it really is my family iron. I never thought I'd see it again. It's funny. I remember it feeling so much heavier. I'm glad the family iron won't be left in the cold ground anymore. I'll melt it down and craft something beautiful. Something new. So, we've got almost everything. Just one last thing remains. A whispering crystal. I've been studying how to work with them. I believe combining the crystal with the iron will help whoever wields the hammer to stay calm. That's something I've always lacked. My life's been a pile of foolish decisions. I want to ensure that someone dear to me doesn't have to face the same, especially during combat. I've heard that Camelot was mining those crystals. That might be worth looking into. How you get one is up to you, but don't do anything foolish that'll land you in a cell, friend. What do you need? I guess I shouldn't care how you got it. What matters is that you're well. Looks like I've got everything I need now. I've already prepared a few pieces. Please, stay and rest. So, truth be told, I'm not sure how to say this. I've never been good with words. Since I got this heart forged by the Stone Warden, something's changed. I don't fully understand it, but I can't stop thinking about you. By the All-Mother, it's so strange. And though I don't understand it, I know what I feel. I worry about you. I want to care for you. I want to give you warmth. The hammer I've been working on, it's for you. I hope you'll accept it, along with me, whole. I hear you, and maybe you're right. But honestly, I don't care. I know what I feel. And oh, on the All-Mother, what a sweet feeling it is to be certain. And I am certain how my heart reacts when I see you. I know you're not someone who likes to stay in one place. I'm not even sure if that's possible for you. Just know this. Whenever you need my embrace, I'll be here, waiting for you. Your face tells us.
inside. Step forward. After all, you know me. Take off your mask now. It's your home. Welcome, little prince. Why the sullen look? Aren't you glad to see me? You finally made it here. It must have taken quite a long time. So, you don't remember me. I'm afraid it might have something to do with the form in which I see you now. This body and soul, they're much different from what I expected. But to answer your question, I am the Weaver. And though it may be hard for you to believe, a part of you knows me all too well. Because it is easier for me to address you this way than to accept that, for now, you are nothing more than a human. It is painful, but I must come to terms with it. It is a place where my prince was woven from the threads of pure potential. The Pale Lady was relentless in her desire to fulfill her vision of an offspring, modeled after those she watched so eagerly. It displeases me that you don't remember. I'd envisioned your return and our meeting quite differently. But now it all makes sense. Now I understand why you need that shard. Nothing remarkable. I simply exist in this place. That you ended up here is a mere coincidence. None of my kind have visited me in a long time. Yet here, I used to weave new Avalonians, shaping them according to the intent and thought that accompanied their creation. Now the thread of potential is much weaker, though it seems this place stirs to life again as the weirdness returns. She was a powerful Avalonian, one of the oldest. She saw and desired far more than the rest of her kin, who were suffocating in their growing decadence. To live a life where one can do anything, it loses all meaning. When she discovered the homelands and learned of mortality and time, everything changed. We were no longer the same. It was as though the mere awareness of such things altered the way we lived. We could no longer exist as we once had. It planted a new emotion in us. Fear. You will find traces of her here as well. The stone tablets bear her mark. I'm afraid I must admit that I don't know where she is now. It seems she retreated into her depths again after your king entered his eternal sleep. The true one, from which mortals are not meant to be awakened. Not like this. The shard of the prince's memory. It is shattered. Much like the fragmented memory of the king that lingers within you. I'd gladly speak with him, but something is preventing him from manifesting. I don't know all the details. What I do know is that after our prince was murdered by our kin, his potential, what you humans might call a soul, did not perish. The prince had been deeply fascinated by humans, and so after his death he manifested in one of them. That person was Arthur, the man who would one day become your king. He followed his mother's fascination. Much like her, he gazed upon the land of men. But he wished to go further. He wanted to experience being human. So he built the menhirs, and to repel the weirdness. For us, the Four Dwellers, such a vision was both heretical and terrifying. Some of our kin could not forgive him for it. So, they killed him. It was the first time an Avalonian had ever slain one of their own. Arthur was a man, mortal like any other, but ambitious like few. But yes, his origins are far more complicated. This is a tale of two separate realities that, through a series of specific events, began to intersect, forming a single knot. Everything that has happened, and everything that will happen, is meant to decide the fate of that knot. And we, as you likely already know, have been pulled into all of this. Our meeting comes to an end. I regret how brief it is, but my role in your story was always meant to be insignificant.
Come here. Come here. Oi, you, stranger. Good to see you, stranger. Not many souls pass through these lands anymore. A weird night hit, and I ran out of cobweb. Nothing to worry about. I've suffered worse back in the day. I'm Kedron of the Volca tribe, by the way. And you're clearly not from around here. What brings you to our humble homeland? Just don't tell me you're a Camelosian spy. I'll fight you if I have to, but I'd prefer to get my strength back first. Bold of you. If I weren't injured, I might have fought you anyway, just to warm up. But since you're already here, and I need some time to pull myself together, how about doing me a favor? And to answer the question you haven't asked yet, yes, there's something in it for you. Like not being killed by my Dalrita kin the second they see your face. Oh, you could, but you wouldn't get far. That much I'm sure of. I need you to find Gerfan and inform him of my situation. I can't complete the task he gave me. He's also the one who can grant you safe passage through our lands. Without it, things might turn bloody real quick. The capital, you can't miss it. It looms over everything, always watching, like an overbearing mother. Used to be the place where all the tribes came together. Now it's quiet. That should tell you something. Head for the sword on the horizon. You'll find your way. Gerfan is the voice of the tribes, chosen long ago, back when his name carried weight, and the leaders still listened. They say Mather herself blessed the runes of his fate. Now, he's just an old man, waiting for a moot that may never come. But I'll give him this, he still believes, still tries to gather the tribes. If you ask me, that won't happen again in 100 years. The tribes are too busy tearing each other apart. Those days of sitting together to plan a future, gone. There's no future left. Just snow, ice, and the weirdness. Still, you should meet him. A gathering of the Dalrita tribes, called by the voice, used to happen in times of peace or war, whenever something needed all of us to act. But there hasn't been one in years. Not since the fall of the Gunvalder tribe. Everything's scattered now, broken. From long ago, from back when we still carried the respect of our people, I was a scribe, witness to the choices that shaped the tribes. I was there when Tainted slammed in unity, our axes hit the moot table in anger. Gerf trusted me, told me things he'd never share in public. His doubts, his burdens. I remember them all. But things change. You'll meet plenty of Dalrita out here. Decide for yourself what they're worth now. I'll be fine. Just make sure Gerfan knows where I am. Don't keep him waiting. Sure, no need to gossip. Though I'll admit, it was nice talking to someone outside the tribes who isn't some screaming Camelotian scum. Hey, you there. Non-Rita. Spare him. Will you? Oi, you. Stranger. Don't... Oi, you. Stranger. Got a minute? Oh, no.
meet again, Lost Prince. I was mistaken about our previous encounter. I erred in thinking I had unraveled what the Pale Lady had planned for the both of us. But I should have known better than to presume or anticipate the moves of someone as shrewd as her. I am tired, Prince. I am so terribly tired. I feel burned out. I can't weave anymore. I don't want to. Never imagined that such a moment could come. Oh, what a truly sorrowful thing. To accept that all things must finally fade. You meeting me? As I mentioned upon your first visit, I thought it was just a coincidence. A fortunate weave of various events that, under a different alignment of stars and smaller choices, would never have come to pass. However, it turns out that I was meant to fulfill a specific role, and it was not to weave new life as I once believed. To weave bridges between you and her despair. Bridges that would allow you to gather the memory shards. She used me, yet I cannot even bring myself to be angry with her. I see now that she seeks to restore the bonds that once were, before her world shattered and fell into ruin. The pain of a mother who has lost her child, it is difficult to comprehend, especially for us. For centuries, we never had to face loss, and then only by gazing upon you humans, we had to deal with the idea of death. To live in a world in which everything has to die, such a horrible and terrifying thing. Her desire was to bring her son back. I understand that, but can't really empathize with it. Understanding others has always been the strength of humankind. And anger? I'm not sure. For now, I just want peace. I don't want the weirdness. I don't want to weave. I don't want to feel. She hopes that by restoring her son's memory, she will finally bring him back. The Pale Lady wants to put you on a proper path. Yet she does not realize how daunting and impossible this challenge truly is. But those driven by despair rarely measure their actions with reason. Places like this one, or the one where we met before, were chosen by the Pale Lady for a reason. On their own, they're nothing more than aberrations twisted by the weirdness. To bridge your reality and ours, someone had to weave the passages. That someone was me. In both instances, I believed all my efforts were aimed at weaving a new Fordweller, for the first time in centuries. But the truth was far from that. The Archspire was a bridge to the place where her son was born. In that cave, I wove the prints from the threads of the weirdness granted to me by the Pale Lady. They were resonating with great desire. It seems the place we stand in now was marked as the place where I had to create the next passage. Since we lost the war against your kind, we retreated to Tuathan, severing ourselves from the rest of Avalon. All the while, the weirdness has continued to change. It has grown wilder, more untamed, and far harder to control, even for us. For centuries, places like this seemed lifeless, stripped of their potential. And then the spark began to return. It was then that I resumed my work. I did not dare to peer beyond my lost prince. I feel that what lies ahead is bound to a profoundly intimate and ineffably personal aspect of the Pale Lady. It is between you and her. Prince, it is time to go. Leave me behind. I played my role in this spectacle. Hopefully that will grant me freedom. Farewell.
And now you stand here, hidden deep within. And even I cannot fathom what my heart feels. Still torn, for you are not wholly him, my son, my prince of Tuathan. Yet there is a flicker of joy within me, for you carry the soul of an Arthur, whose life was chosen for my son. This means the fragments of memory I gathered and kept safe may be saved. The heart, bleeding and plagued. A fragment of me, of my despair, accidentally brought into existence upon the homelands. My tears seeped into your soil, birthing a terror that became inseparably bound to your kind. The Spectre, the Red Death. Unintentionally, I could not have foreseen what such an entanglement of our realities would bring. I could not have known the depths of pain wrought by the loss of a beloved child. When it started to spread, I couldn't find a way to stop it. I am so terribly sorry. Arthur believed that abandoning the homelands would stop the plague. The Red Church committed truly horrific acts in their desperate attempt to halt the blight. Yet, no matter what you humans do, the plague will always return. It's like a curse cast upon your kind. And so, you will drown in my tears. I want my son back. You walk your own path, yet you will be faced with choices. I hope that, among them, you will find a way to bring my son back. However, I cannot impose my will upon you. It took me a long time to understand that not everything should be demanded by force. I believe so. And you are already working tirelessly toward this, whether you realize it or not. Since my son's fate became entwined with that of Arthur, the King of Mortals, it is necessary to reconstruct the soul of the ruler whose essence you carry within your heart. You will also need the fragments of my son's memory, the ones I so carefully concealed for you to find. Beyond that, the Weaver may possess something helpful. His life-giving spindle. It may prove invaluable when the final trial comes. If you manage to find him, take it. He is no longer bound by the places I created for him, where he could work in peace. I have a feeling he may have returned to his workshop, deep within the Forlorn Swords. It is a tale about the Prince of the Four Dwellers, who unexpectedly became the king of humankind. Arthur. We are connected. In the homelands, he heard my call from beyond the mists. It guided him to Avalon. I met him during his journey. I gifted him with the sword. The specter, of which you now carry within yourself. He is someone very dear to me. Someone I lost decades ago, whose soul found a new body in your lands. As you already know, we found a way to gaze upon the homelands. My son was fascinated by humans. Fascinated by your impermanence and fragility. When one has to deal with entropy and decay, everything suddenly gains far greater significance, doesn't it? He must have desired to live the life of a human. Perhaps it is one of the most powerful manifestations ever achieved by a Four-Dweller. Oh, the Weaver. I remember the spark of joy that lit up his pale face when he saw what emerged from the threads of weirdness I gifted him. A living being, brimming with such boundless potential. So vibrant with life. He always had a fondness for my child. He called him the Prince. In the homelands, I saw a powerful thing that we Four-Dwellers lacked. It was love, one of many emotions I had to learn. We lived in a world where everything was potent and possible. It made us live a life where we were drowning in decadence. I longed for something more. Our emotional structure was much less complicated than yours. You were quite an inspiration. Yes, I am fully aware that my will to bring Arthur to the shores of Avalon brought war and ruin upon my own kin. What would you have me say? There are no proper words for this. I will simply fall silent. Draw your own conclusions. Yes, although that was a horribly distorted part of me, living as if it were another life. Now I feel more whole. The emptiness is sharper. The sorrow far more profound. One aspect of the potential of the weirdness is that it can serve as a tool. For that, I needed a craftsman. Someone who could sense even the thinnest threads of that potential as part of a greater whole. Every Four-Dweller could manipulate the weirdness to some degree. But not all did so with the finesse of the Weaver. He could harness that potential for something far, far greater, like weaving a new life. For example, my skills lay elsewhere. Among them was the ability to peer beyond the horizon of our civilization, to see a different world, a world without the weirdness, a world filled with meaning and purpose, constructed through intricate connections, a single living organism, yet full of individuality at the same time. I feel that sometimes you do not realize just how extraordinary your land truly was. Are you sure? If you have anything to ask, ask now. This may be our last meeting before the end of things. I am listening. Are you sure this may be our... So, it is done. I am glad my heart could host you. I hope you will succeed in reaching the goal you pursue. You leave this place with another shard. Use the memory of my son wisely. Ah, one more thing. That perfect obedience will no longer be your burden. It was never my will, but rather a flawed interpretation by humans, consumed with the madness of the dying. Farewell.
Oi, you... Stranger, got a minute or not?
Lately, situations like this have been happening far too often. Some alchemists within our ranks are starting to rebel. Or they're coming up with utterly ridiculous ideas. I really hope this doesn't become a recur. To answer your question, unfortunately, yes, it was necessary. The rules of our guild set clear boundaries. Crossing them results in a response from us, one that becomes more severe the greater the transgression. Until...
Stay focused. You're no match for a man. You're right. Here.
Look, Grail, the alchemist's little lady sent her lapdog. Aye. So, dog, speak. Raylan, check it. Not much. You heard him. We lost 3 of our brothers on this job. You think we could just go back to the village and say they died so we can walk away with a handful of coins?
Double it.
How dare you invoke the memory of our ancestors? Dog! They're not one of us. Not even worthy to speak their names. Raylan, kill this wretch. Look, Grail. That's how I like it. Let's get out of here, Avalon. Nothing left for us.
You did it! Wonderful! I don't think I need to hear the details of that meeting. What matters is that it's all behind us now. I'm deeply grateful. Here's a reward for your efforts. I'll soon begin my more extensive research on the brain centers of all 4 subjects. Oh, and one more thing. You've proven yourself trustworthy, so you'll find a few special items in my shop now. Perhaps something will catch your interest. Hope you'll find some You've already done so much. Thank you for that. That said, there's one more thing you could help me with. The Guild has been trying to get in touch with Dolph Jonckheer for a while now. He went missing somewhere in the Forlorn Swords. All I know is that he was supposed to be conducting research in the territory of the Sven tribe. We need to make sure he's safe and sound. He's one of the senior members of the Guild, although I didn't see him much. He spent most of his time working in the field. What's concerning is that he went to the Forlorn Swords alone. He's not familiar with the Dalraita tribes, and the situation in that region is unstable. We just hope nothing bad has happened to him. I appreciate it. Once you find him, ask him to provide a report on his research and bring it back to me. I'll pass it along to the right people. Don't worry, there's nothing suspicious about this. It's standard practice. Every member of the Alchemist Guild is required to submit these reports from time to time. The hierarchical structure of the regular Camelosian guilds isn't something we strictly adhere to in the Alchemist Guild. Each of us has freedom in our research, as long as we don't violate ethical guidelines. Until next time.
A non-Rita wandering through these frigid lands. It takes courage, or perhaps folly, to traverse the Forlorn Swords alone. Sit, if it pleases you. A warm flame is rare here. The farther north you go, the less life you'll find. Nothing but snow, mountains, and the Dalrita, mourning days long gone. I'm an old Dalrita. I couldn't care less anymore. You, though? You look like someone who's never had to scoop snail roe from a fiend's guts. My advice, leave them be. And if you're fool enough to poke one, run like hell while you still can. They tend to explode. I am Vati. Little else of me is worth knowing. Yet, you asked as though you seek some greater tale. Not in my case, stranger. I'm just an old man, exiled from a tribe long ago. You, however, seem sharp, strong, and you're not from here. That much is clear. Now, it's you I'm curious about. So tell me, what brings you to the Forlorn Swords? Well, I'll be. I haven't heard a tale like that in years. And what do you need those cursed trinkets for? A mission, you say, and it must be damn important. I'm afraid, however, that in this ruined village, you won't find what you're looking for. But I know someone who might be able to help. Gerfan. That old codger might finally prove useful to someone for a change. Camelot. They butchered almost everyone from the Gunvaldir tribe. Old Frode, Gunvaldir chief, knew the Camelosians were coming. He called for aid, but no one answered his plea. What a disgrace. And so, divided we fall. Now, his firstborn wages his own war in the south. The Dalrita dared not speak his name aloud. Among the Dalrita, there were rumors that their giants had begun to stir. Hard to say how much truth there is to it. Look for yourself. Still sleeping like the dead. Camelot may have feared it, though. A wakened giant would have been just another burden on their already troubled heads. And royalist heads seem far less suited to carrying burdens. That's how I see it. Here? No. What happened here was a slaughter. The battle itself was fought in the fortress, but I wouldn't advise going there. Folks lose their wits there. For as long as I recall, restless Dalrita lingered within its walls, kinless or destined to leave heirs that would not remember their ancestors. But then the Gunvaldir decided to look after them. They claimed the fortress for themselves. No one objected. Gunvaldirs had close ties to the spirits of their ancestors. They took in those forgotten as their own, forging a bond with them. In return, the spirits granted them strength, sometimes even coming to their aid. Frode and his people thought moving the battle within the fortress walls would give them advantage. Well, they all died, so that tells you how it turned out. The only tribe living close enough were the Ulfar, but trust me, most would rather raise a toast to their ancestors than meddle with their spirits. Let the dead remain dead, as they say. It's surprising he's still alive, I won't deny. But I understand how he gathered loyal warriors. The mood in the tribes is sour. Some have had enough. They break away and rally to the banner of the proud warlord. A madman's fight against the oppressor. A romantic vision, isn't it? I was once a scribe, and true to my calling. I live in the past, stranger. I won't tell you anything of value, just old tales and bygone days. I have little contact with the tribes these times. The words of an exiled Darita carry little weight, same as his name. You'd be better off discovering things for yourself, believe me. It will be a far greater lesson than anything I could ever tell you.
I sense the presence of a soul. The veil stirs. I awaken. I am the observation construct, set here long ago by my creators. Of them, no trace remains, only silence. Yet you bear the soul mark of a creator. Faint, flickering, but there. Shall I speak what I have seen? Time is not mine to measure. No sun reaches this place. If you seek such knowledge, find the one the creators named Time Construct. Or ask the construct for watching Outlanders. He counts the days, or so it's said. My memory holds much, but not all at once. Would you know of the living that pass through this place? Or the signs carved upon stone? Or the bones and the other still organic matter? I do not know this word. I was woken by the hand of creators, or perhaps by their will. That is enough. So be it. Many come. Small lives, clawed and toothsome. They bicker, they fight, they devour. Be wary. None like you have passed this way in many cycles. None who bore such light in the soul. The stone is painted history. The first carved their truths into the walls, signs not bound by the turning of time. I watched as stars marked their days, the gut of the mountain, the giant's eye. The sky bore witness when the primordial fell. The pattern remains for those who know how to follow it, but few now do. One rests still, a skull of the first, cradled on a pedestal, delicate, revered. Perhaps the old tales speak true, that the creators sprang from those ancient ones. The signs point that way. But to say more would be beyond my knowing. A greater construct would be needed. I wake to presence. The watch is end. When another soul walks this ground, I shall wake once more. Take this as a memento of our meeting.
Hello there. And sorry, I haven't much time for chatter, I'm afraid. I was just about to set off again. I don't like traveling after nightfall. Gods know what slithers in the dark. Weirdness. Now that one's got a cruel appetite. Chews up lives like bread crusts. So best keep moving, right? Of course. In all this hurry, I forgot my manners. My name is Fillmore. But do not call me a lady. Though, my father would probably prefer it that way. Some knights aren't too fond of having a woman among them. Yes. He's a bit, overprotective. Especially when it comes to the family name and what people say. He never made it to the Round Table himself, so he pinned his hopes on my brothers. One ended up as a bodyguard, the other took priestly vows. That left him bitterly disappointed, and, well, he didn't have much belief left in a daughter. Even if I've come much, much farther than they ever did. Why? I suppose I thought it would make me count. People notice a knight. They move aside when you pass. I read that even among the Knights of the Round Table, there were few women. Percival, for example. Oh, what a wonderful life she must have had. Forlorn swords. But, if you don't mind, I'd rather keep the purpose of my journey to myself for now. I'd hate to jinx it, having come this far already. The road to Burrow to Connacht wasn't easy, and there's still much ahead. Yes. I heard they're not really friendly to outsiders. But I've no intention of getting in anyone's way. I'll keep to the paths that seem long forgotten. Besides, I'm not exactly searching for something most folk would care about anyway. Thank you. Safe travels, kind wanderer.
You're from outside, aren't you? Ugh, silly question. You don't look like anyone from the tribes. Tell me, do you know anything about One Eye? Where he's stationed now? Of course. I'm Olwyn of the Spain tribe, though I don't know if they'll let me keep that name after running away like this. But I don't care. My tribe isn't what it used to be. I doubt anyone's still alive anyway. I don't know if I can talk about it. It's still too raw, you know? Something terrible happened. Truly terrible. Our god, the Lord of the Hunt, he got out. out of wherever he was being kept. And then he did what gods like him do. He hunted. Faithful or not, it didn't matter. There was so much blood. I'm sorry. I can't talk about it. Even under normal circumstances, that would be risky. Our archers would drop you the moment you stepped on our land. I don't know how many are left, but if I were you, I'd go to Gurfhan first. He can give you a pass, so you can visit the tribes without, well, getting shot. So if you value your life, go to the capital first. After that, wander as much as you like. So, about One Eye. No way. He actually pulled it off. I heard rumors he wanted to strike a deal with the Southerners, but I never thought he'd manage it. Well, thank you for the information, and see you in better times.
Always a pleasure to see you.
Something new. Oh, by the piggish wounds. That looks like a four-dweller's skull. I'm not sure. I can't put my finger on it. It looks similar, but far more primitive. Quickly, let's hide it. Who knows how people may react to seeing something like this in the middle of town? Let's not cause trouble for Varel. Tell me, what was it like? What did you see? That's remarkable. And it still worked after all these years. I've heard of constructs before. I always thought they were just stories told about the four-dwellers, the kind meant to scare kids into behaving. But they were said to activate only in the presence of a four-dweller. So why did it respond to you? Well, that explains it. Say hi from me. And thanks for trusting me with that. I'd love to hear how you got your hands or your soul on something like that and still walk among us. But right now, I need to focus on this discovery of a lifetime. So tell me, what else did this construct say? That's it! By the gods, that's proof! Do you know what you've just discovered? Proof that the four-dwellers weren't born by the weirdness itself. They just evolved over the centuries, learning to tame the weirdness and claim its power. And if they evolved, maybe there's hope for us too. If we're strong enough to survive, maybe we can change. Live freely, without fear of the weirdness. Sorry, my mind was wandering again. What were you saying? Cave paintings? With their story? Incredible! Astounding! I'll have to go there myself someday. But now, I can only imagine what they might have looked like. Thank you. Here, Take this for your reward and for your efforts for uncovering the artifact. I hope only the most remarkable adventures and discoveries find their way to you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll return to my thoughts.
Always a pleasure to see you.